Sherlock Holmes goes up against his famous enemy, Professor Moriarty, in Sherlock Holmes, A Game of Shadows. Did Robert Downey Jr. and director Guy Ritchie pull it off, or not? I'm Rob, and I will give you my reviews right here on RB&D Reviews. Downey Jr. and Jude are back as the famous detective team of Sherlock Holmes and Dr. Watson. In A Game of Shadows, Holmes believed that a series of what looks like unconnected criminal events that are happening around Europe are actually all connected to the criminal genius Professor Moriarty. And one of Moriarty's intended victims in the movie is a gypsy fortune teller played by Naomi Rapace, who later accompanies Holmes and Watson on their case. Now, this is one of the very few movies this year that I can think of where I really disliked and liked the same movie. For one thing, Downey Jr. and Law do very well in their performances, but I never really liked them being turned into a sort of comedy team where Watson often serves as the annoyed straight man to an eccentric Holmes. I found Holmes to be a little bit too eccentric in the beginning, but thankfully the script kind of gets away from that a little bit in the end. The movie looks very gorgeous. From the photography, the sets, the CGI, and even the action scenes are very impressive to watch, but the plot was not really as good as the first film. I will say this, one problem that I did have with the first movie was I thought that it went too fast, and I didn't like the music video style editing. Here, Guy Ritchie slows the movie down with mixed results. The slower pace really works well in the beginning and for the very suspenseful final act, but in the middle, it does drag a little bit. But I think that if a third Sherlock Holmes movie is made with Robert Downey Jr., with Guy Ritchie as the director again, I think Guy Ritchie should continue to go in that direction of using a slower pace rather than his usual quick-cut editing. Sometimes I thought the comedy in this movie was forced, like there's a joke involving embalming fluid, but there was some good standouts, like when Watson and Holmes are riding in Watson's car and they're exchanging some very funny dialogue. And I also found the slow motion in this sequel to be a little bit overused, maybe one or two more times than what was needed. Especially because every time, for those of you that are familiar with the Guy Ritchie Sherlock Holmes movies, every time someone's about to fight Holmes, he goes through his head about what's going to happen. I think it was used just enough times in the first film, but here I think it just keeps coming back to it, and it just got a little bit tiring for me after a while. Supporting cast-wise, Stephen Fry I thought was really funny as Sherlock Holmes' brother Mycroft, but Jared Harris as Professor Moriarty, I just did not find him memorable or even threatening as Mark Strong's villain from the first film. The movie was entertaining, and I think there were some elements better than what was done in the first film, but I found this sequel to be kind of a mixed bag. I don't think it's a horrible movie, but not really a good one. I'm going to give Sherlock Holmes A Game of Shadows a rented on DVD rating, and if you have any comments about the movie or about this video, go ahead and leave them. I greatly appreciate it, and thank you very much for watching.